Welcome to the Improve and Have Fun podcast. My name is Paul V. Perez, and on this podcast, I work on improving myself while having fun along the way with the hopes of encouraging you to do the same. And I do so by documenting my life and interests. And on this episode, I'm going to be interviewing Jozee D. And she is a friend of a friend, but now she is a friend, that started to come along to the parties around last summer, the dancehall parties that I normally attend. Not happening now during the coronavirus pandemic. I wanted to interview her. I always got a really good vibe from her. With her, it's very interesting in the sense of she's kind of experiencing dancehall at this level of in terms of going to parties regularly and learning the dance moves and learning dance etiquette kind of now. And it's great to interview her and get her enthusiasm, her excitement as she enters into this world. It reminds me of how I was introduced into dancehall by other people that have already been into dancehall for a number of years. And I think it serves as a great example of if there's something that you want to do and is a field that you're super interested in, if you can link up or get together with other people that have that same interest and have been doing it for a long time, you can make leaps and gains in that particular space much quicker, as opposed to kind of going into it on your own, not knowing anything, not knowing anyone, and then just kind of learning as you go. And also, Jozee, I feel, is a little bit of a kindred spirit to me when I was hearing her story on this particular episode, where she talks about as a kid how she used to watch Michael Jackson videos and kind of imitate the choreography and like kind of teach it to her friends, put on a show for her family and stuff like that, which I thought was very cool. And I'm cut from that same cloth as well. But just check out the interview. If you have any thoughts or comments, please do so. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can do so below. If you are listening to this on the podcast version, there's a link on the show notes where it'll take you to the blog and you can comment there. Please support the podcast by doing any or all of your eBay or Amazon shopping provided in the links below or in the show notes for this episode. And there's also a donate button. There's a way you can buy my artwork from TeePublic. Like I said, this podcast isn't free to do, but I enjoy doing it. And any notes of appreciation, i.e. dollars, that I get to support the podcast would be very much appreciated. So check out this interview. Let me know what you think. And thank you so much for listening. And Jozee, how are you today?
I'm pretty good, hanging in there. Thank you.
I wanted to record this conversation or just kind of get to know you a little bit more because we just really see each other at the parties. But, and you're a mom, so you can speak to this maybe more than I can. But like sometimes, as you're getting older, you just want to like record these times that you spend with these folks because, these are not times that are going to be around forever. You know what I mean? So this is the purpose of like I've had a lot of great times with you for the last like 6 months that I've known you, or plus 6 months plus. And, I just wanted to kind of get to know you a little bit more, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad I have this opportunity to speak with you a little bit. Let's see, I think it's been about a year that I've really been like going to parties and because so I went to Jamaica almost a year ago in April.
First time?
Yes, the first time. Okay. Oh, wow. So, and this is, almost in April. And so this is kind of like, so the first time that I went, I didn't have a lot of dance hall moves, experience, exposure behind me. Okay. So of course, mommy, she's been doing this for like, 7, 8, 9 years. She's famous now. She's been on stage with Ding Dong.
In our little circles, yes, she is. Yes, we all know who she is. Yeah.
If you've seen any of Ding Dong's videos, she's usually up there. She took me to some of the street parties, like, Boom Thursdays, Mondays. I forget which day it is, but they've got parties, street parties, and they all have different names. So I went to the party thinking, okay, I'm going to bust some moves. Ramos was there, Ramos Rifico. And this is in Jamaica, in Kingston. And I was so overwhelmed that even though it was a great vibe and like the people were awesome, I was so overwhelmed because it was so much action. there were the dance teams there, and they were showing off their moves. So all I could do was just actually watch, absorb, and you know me at the parties. I love to dance, and if you let me follow you, I'll follow you, and we just all dance together. And I love that aspect of dance hall. It's like a social connection, that we have, and it builds bonds. And I think, in Jamaica, that's how they maintain their bonds among each other and go out and party and have a good time and create this positive atmosphere. But for the first few times, I stood there just watching. Okay, so fast forward, come back. Then I started coming to the parties with you guys here in Brooklyn and Manhattan, everywhere, and started learning more of the moves, so I feel more comfortable. And you've been actually very helpful and facilitated my learning because you're very easy to follow, and I just love you're very positive when we go to the parties. And I noticed also too that one thing that is really, really a positive thing for me is that you always make sure I'm next to you or I'm around, because sometimes these parties can get a little bit crowded, and I get kind of squeezed back, and because I don't really know the moves too well, I'll probably step back, but you kind of encourage me to come into the circle, which is great. So that kind of positivity is what I love about these dance hall parties. But after having taken some classes from some of the Jamaican dancers that come here in New York, and also the parties are really, really crucial to kind of getting the moves to become more natural, so you don't have to think about it. You just hear the beat, and you just oh, this move goes with this, and you make the connection really fast. So now, if I were to actually go to another party in Jamaica, I would say, for the most part, I would dance. I would try to catch on as much as I can. I was just feeling because I've never been to Jamaica, I wanted to kind of just absorb everything first, but now I'm more comfortable, and you really helped me with that too. And mommy as well. Mommy's very encouraging as well. Mommy will always be like, come on, and she's so funny because we'll go to Lily's or something like that, and we were did you come with us that one time? Yeah.
Danny was with us.
Okay, no. So we went to time after that. It was pretty poppin'. It was pretty crowded, and we were eating our dinner, and we almost finished, and so it was DJ Michael.
Oh, no, that's in the grill.
Oh, was it Negril? Yeah, it was Negril. My bad. Yeah, it was Negril. Yeah, that one. And we were sitting in the middle of the restaurant, and so he sees mommy. He puts on the music. She stands up, and she's like, her body starts shaking. I gotta dance. So we both stood up and we danced, and we were in the middle of the floor eating, and it was just and people. What I love is that people are so supportive. They're they'll support you, they'll hoot, holler, clap, or whatever. And I think it's just something where it just helps everybody come together. Yeah. So.
And a lot of times, if you've seen in these parties, it's a lot of times very familiar faces. A lot of times, a lot of similar faces, and for the most part, I think that they're all friendly. I mean, like I said, you're new, but do you feel like even the regular people that we see in our circles are very inviting?
Absolutely. That's another really positive part of this whole new experience for me, is that I have met so many really cool people through coming to the parties, and it might not have been the first or second or third party, but eventually you connect, because when you dance with somebody, there's automatically a chemistry, a connection, and because you have such a good time dancing together, you want to know if that person or that group of people are going to be coming to the next party, so you can relive that experience, have that experience or even a better experience, and learn, because that's why I go. I mean, I go because I want to see everybody, because we have a great time and the music is popping and the DJs are great, but also because I can learn new things, and that's you have to be open to learning, and that's really, really one of the best parts. Is I'm also a fitness instructor, so I meet many, many people in different personality types. But with the dance hall parties, I can just be free and just dance and not worry about it, and we just have so much fun.
And what is it about dance, or what is it about dancing and dance hall? Because you could just kind of go and just kind of watch people, but what is it about dancing and dance hall that attracted you to actually learning the moves and stuff like that? Because there's a big shift in between, like I guess you could be an observer and enjoy it, or you could like be a participator and you could enjoy it as well. Like, why learn the moves, or like why get into the dance of dance hall?
Yeah, it's interesting because I way back in the day. Oops, sorry. Okay. Back in the day, when people were able to upload videos to whatever platform, whether it's YouTube, it was a long. I remember seeing, sort of some basic videos of like these dance hall steps. When I started getting into dance hall music, and then, checking out who the artists are, and then you see the guys doing the dance hall moves, and it's a little hard to learn dance hall from a video, a two-dimensional video. But I was like, wow, that's really cool that they can make up a series of steps to a song and it matches perfectly, and then you know what to do when you hear that song, or you hear that rhythm, or you hear that beat. So I love the idea of the selector or the DJ, right, pairing up with the dancer to have this step that matches perfectly with the song and relates to the song. And the one thing that also, like, on top of that is the history behind many of the dance steps. It has a lot of meaning, and I learned that from Orville, Shelley. Yeah, Shelley's the one who said practice makes permanent, so that's true. And then, he came almost a year ago as well, and he taught us all the history of like the old school steps, the mid school steps, and it really adds a whole layer of appreciation to the moves, and it also helps you, execute the moves because you know why you're doing it for the most part. Does that answer the question?
Absolutely. Have you just enjoyed dancing from young? Like what? And you say you're a fitness instructor. Like, is it like exercise, or do you like teach kind of dance?
Well, so I always used to say, like, I was dancing when I came out of the womb. Yeah, I was always moving around, flapping around, and like a ballerina, having no technical skills whatsoever, but it was just a natural part of me. And I remember when I was younger,
She was always moving around, dancing around, kind of.
Oh, yeah. If you ask my dad, because my dad was, he still is heavy into jazz. So he would blast that jazz. People from across the street could hear it. And we used to have a big, huge table in our living room, and I'd, maybe 7 or 8 years old, I'd be up on that table dancing, jamming out to this jazz music, like just hopping around. And I didn't really have any like formal training until I was actually in high school. But I remember I would try to get my friends, and when MTV came around and Michael Jackson was a big thing, I would actually that I'm going to contradict what I said before, but I learned all my dance moves from taping his videos on a VHS. Hit that rewind, get the move, hit the rewind, get the move, and then yeah.
Born and raised in New York, and you told me you're Italian as well, correct?
Yeah, I was actually born in North Carolina, raised in Virginia. My mother is first generation Italian. So music is all part of like, Italian side, and my father's side. My father's like, American from like, British roots. Okay. And so all of both my parents heavy into music. My mom it's funny because my dad is jazz. My mom is more classical. Yeah. And so I would get all my friends together and teach them the choreography to say Michael Jackson or whatever. I'd invent my own choreography. And yeah, and then, we'd all do these dances together, and then I'd put on a show for my family in the backyard. So that's like where my passion came from. This was like since, maybe 6, 7, all the way up through my teen years. When I got into high school, then I started taking some formal classes at my college that I was actually I was in high school. I was taking it at a college that I was planning on attending because they had a good dance program. And I actually ended up, majoring in dance and majoring in psychology. It helps, but it balances out because in fitness I use both of them. You can see why, and also it's the reason why I moved here. So I came here to kind of test the dance circuit, but I wasn't prepared because like New York is another level. I was like, no. I think I'm just gonna have a family instead. So I had my family, but dance has always been a part of me. And then, so I was able to actually, instead of going and performing for people and, doing the audition circuit and all that, I found Zumba. So Zumba helped me dance with the people, right? So I did Zumba for a while. I do, because I love to see people smiling. They sweat. A lot of their problems go away for that hour that they're with me. And it's encouraging when people come up to me after and say, I look forward to your class. Your class makes me happy. I forget about my problems. I feel better. I learned some dance steps, whatever. So Zumba got me into teaching fitness in general. But then now I'm sort of like kind of creating my own path now, because I've never really been much of a follower, ironically. Like, I like to kind of break out and do my own thing. So I'm teaching something like called a power dance class, which is you follow along, but it's my own, what I choose, my music, hip hop, dance hall, things like that. So having said that, let me back that up, because yeah.
When is it that please promote, like, when is it that you have these classes?
Oh, well, the power dance class is Mondays at 6:30 at New York Sports Club Astoria, and that's really the only class I teach now, because I'm sort of like winding down in my fitness career and trying to like do more dance hall and do more things for myself, right? But when I do teach dance hall songs or dance hall type moves in a fitness class, I always try to keep it as authentic as possible. So that's that. How can I say this?
I mean, you're around it like every weekend now.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a big stretch. You're inundated by it. So
right. So I've practiced it so much that hopefully I've made it permanent enough to where the moves look authentic, and I wouldn't put a move in my class that I'm not yet comfortable with, that I don't think I have a grasp on. Most of the moves have to be the easier ones anyway, because it's a fitness class, right? So, and that's something that I tell my students, guys, this is a fitness class. It's a dance fitness class. Relax. It's not ABT. It's not Broadway Dance Center. You're not auditioning for, anything major. Keep it in perspective. If you can't pick up the steps, it's fine, But I always try to give credit. This is a dance hall step. This is called whatever step I'm doing. And just to provide enough background. And if you want to know more information, you can always research it and find out and see it for yourself, the authentic way that it's done. Just because I respect the culture so much. And I want to keep it real, and I want to keep it authentic, and I want to send people to the source so that they can have the opportunity to teach them directly if they're, interested. Yeah.
And speaking of which, what do you say? I think I know your answer, but I still want to hear what you have to say. Like, what has been the biggest teacher for you? Going to classes or going to parties? And, yeah.
Okay. If I were to give it a percentage, I would say that the parties would be 60%, because I get to put into practice what I've learned. The classes are a little bit more difficult for me, because sometimes it's hard for me to get to a class and be consistent in going into the class, and also because I'm still in search of classes that just teach me moves. I like choreo, but I'm not very smart as far as picking it up quickly. So I always fumble. Yeah, and I would really like to go to a class where I learn just some steps that I can use in the parties, because I don't really use choreo. I'm not a dancer like these beautiful dancers that you see on the videos on Instagram and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. So I would say that I learn most, well, it's 50-50 where I learn it, but where I put it into practice is more the parties.
Yeah. That's cool. That's really cool. And so you went to Jamaica for the first time like about a year ago, you said, and you're about to take a trip now this upcoming week. So how many trips have you taken, and why so many trips to Jamaica?
You really want to know why?
Yeah, please.
So I've been there. This will be my 5th trip. So I usually go every 2 to 3 months. Because my boyfriend lives over there.
That's cool.
He runs a tour. Well, I help him run a tour company called Bommy Tours. It's on IG, Bommy Tours JA. And he will take you all around Portland And all the photos on the Instagram that's my other passion, is taking pictures. I'm a amateur photographer. I'm going to say amateur. But there's so many beautiful places in Portland to take pictures, to take photos. Portland.
Portland.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, so Kingston is down at the bottom. Portland's like directly across on the other side of the island. And it's beautiful. It's one of the most unspoiled places in Jamaica. From what I understand, it's one of the safer parishes. And there's so many beautiful natural places to see. Reach Falls, and like hot springs, the Blue Mountains. I mean, the Blue Lagoon is where he usually works mostly out of, taking people on raft tours.
Like the thing they made movies of the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, they say that that's where they made the Blue Lagoon, but there are the Blue Lagoon is lined with these beautiful villas, and so these famous celebrities come over there. So there's always something happening over there. There's always some artists that are doing videos at Winifred Beach, or the Blue Lagoon, or like they say, 50 Cent and Tom Cruise and all them stayed in the villas that line the Blue Lagoon. So it's a really like happening place, but it's also just so natural and so unspoiled. See, I've always been the kind of person, when I go to visit outside of the U.S., I want to visit where the locals are. I don't want to stay in a resort cooped up and all you see is the beach and eat food and you drink. I want to live among the locals, and I want to see how they live. And I want to learn. I want to learn about their culture, their food, their music, dance hall. It's all combined. So it's better to be out and learn than to be isolated, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. And for people to be worried that, Jamaica is dangerous, don't go outside of the resort. Yeah, there are places you have to be careful, just like when you come to New York. Don't go to certain places during certain times. But in Jamaica, it's, they have a special task force to look out for tourists. So, in most of these places that are outside the resort, you're relatively safe. But you always have to be conscious. You have to look around you. You have to be smart, be aware. So.
That's good. That's good. You definitely have more of a comfort level. Don't mind me. I'm just checking the time. Like I said, I want to respect your time, and you're definitely much more comfortable now than like 6 months ago when I like kind of first met you during the summer, like Roberta's. Like I put out that video, like maybe like on the same podcast feed, which you can probably go back a few episodes and watch that. Like that was like around the time that I met you, but definitely more so in the parties now. You are a lot more comfortable. I mean, you see it, and we sweat so much. My goodness, yeah, you know what I mean, yeah. No, it's great to have you, and like I said, you always bring a good energy, and always a pleasure to have you. And when Danny wants to come out, that's cool too. Danny's your Italian friend, definitely. Yeah. And Mommy has been kind of like the glue that kind of holds us together. But you guys also have another passion that you guys you work with a lot of shelters, and you go about like I don't know about if it's appropriate to say like rescuing dogs, but speak on that. Like this is that the way that you guys actually met first, or is it through fitness?
Right. So actually, I met Mommy in a fitness class. Okay, and then we found out, and it was such a long time ago, I don't even remember the details. But we realized that we have this passion for animal advocacy. So we put our powers to use, our fitness powers to use, and what we try to do is have one, maybe two fitness events. We have a group called Fitness for Furry Friends with a Z, Fitness, the number 4, Furry Friends on Facebook. And that's where we post our events and we post animal issues. And we just do it for nonprofit only. We have these events and people come out, and Mommy does. It's funny because I've always seen Mommy doing dance hall, but I've never been into it. I've always appreciated it, but I've never been into it because I had my phases. First I went through salsa, then I went through hip-hop, and now I'm dancehall. It's a journey. Yeah, it's a journey. So I'm like, it's a dance journey, right? And so we get our peeps to come out, and, they pay their little admission, and everything except for the studio rental, everything goes to whatever organization. We've done it for the Sato Project of Puerto Rico. We've done it for the Mayor's Alliance for Animals. Actually, the first time I went to Jamaica, I rented a car. Now remember, they drive on the opposite side and the opposite side of the car, okay? It's a little nerve-wracking, but the mission had to be accomplished. drove from Kingston all the way to Ochi, which was fine because I took the main highway, their only highway, straight through. And we went to the Animal House Jamaica, run by a Canadian woman. And she has a lovely property set up, and the enclosures are beautiful. The dogs get out and run, and a lot of them are free range. They can run around. And we brought her supplies, things that she needed, and then we came back and, there's always a problem over there with water or food, or the dog issue over there is a little complicated. So we raised some money for her. We did an event for her, and Ramis helped us. That was in last September. So he did it. Yes, you were there. And he did some dance hall for us, and then we finished it off with dance fitness. So that's good because you could see both sides. This is dance hall. This is dance fitness. There's a difference. And Mommy and I struggle. I won't say struggle. Mommy and I, we make it a point, and we make it a mission to say, this is dance hall. Keep it authentic. Go back to the source if you want to know how to learn it for real. Because we do teach dance fitness, and it can get diluted. It can get diluted, and people can get the wrong steps, the wrong ideas, not understand. We're really about preserving that history, culture, because we respect the Jamaican people so much. So yeah, that's we're actually going to try to do another event soon, but that's one of the things that and we also go up to the shelter here in New York, like once a month, yeah, and we help walk the dogs, which I love because there's a beautiful trail up there, and we just walk them back and forth, and it's great exercise. You don't even need to be in a gym. You can just go walk some dogs, and you get some great exercise, win-win.
Let me ask you this: you're a mom, you have kids. Are any of the kids like they see you into dance or into dance hall? Are any of them like, Mom, this is kind of cool?
I wish. So they're both musical. So I have a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old. And they're both boys. And so boys with moms, they're kind of just like a little I don't want to see certain things, right? So the little one, the 16-year-old, he has, I think, my gift of dance. He can pick up any move, but he's not into formal training or anything like that. He just likes to groove out. And he picks up these, trending Millie Rock and whatever. He picks it up. And so I'll ask him, can you teach me that? And, no, Mom, you're not going to teach that in your dance class. Just stop, And so they get embarrassed because sometimes I will actually be practicing in my room. I'm conscious that they're watching, so I go in my room and go to the side. I have a little mirror in there, and I'll try to practice and learn some of the moves, or maybe I'm choreographing something for my class, and I'll see them looking at me out of the corner of the eye, and they'll just roll their eyes like, "Can you just stop?" So with boys and their moms, they don't. My boys are not crazy about seeing me dance around. But I think that's just a dynamic with any child, whether it's male or female.
They gotta watch your mom in the club, because the mom could get down and people have, I bigged you up, and we do a move wow, you did it really well, so mom could get down in the club. I'm serious, because not not just kind of butt out like dagger and stuff. I'm talking mom knows actually some moves that she could get down. Absolutely.
Sure. Thank you. I'm honored. I love it when people notice things like that.
I'm not hating.
Exactly. And that's the support that you get from dance hall, is when you do something good, people don't hate. They're like, yeah, go. They give you credit, because, for the most part, we're not trying to show off. We're just trying to have a good time, and if you know a move, get up there and do it, and we all follow. You know what I mean? The ego, it would be blocking. A big ego would be a blocker, as opposed to being more supportive. There's room for everybody. So when when you say stuff like that, and it's a compliment, I still remain humble, because there's I know just a little tip of dance hall. I have so much to learn because I'm not used to moving that way. It's so intricate, dance hall, with the hand movement, the head, every part of your body moves. And I have to synchronize all that because I'm not used to it. And it's going to take me a while because I'm not a spring chicken anymore.
The three of us, you, me, and Mommy, we're not spring chickens. But you, like I said, you're much more comfortable with it now than you were 6 months ago. And you could see it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like I've grown so much, but I couldn't have done it without support, from you guys and from the dance hall community when you go. I think people recognize when you're just starting to learn and they give you that room and that respect, and the support, which is, that's how you grow. You can't grow, I would probably get discouraged if I felt like, oh, I can't do this. I'm just gonna walk away with my head down, but with the support and the encouragement, it does help you grow and blossom. And with practice, I'll have more confidence. And I think what you're seeing is like the confidence come out a little bit more, because I'm more comfortable with the environment. I know what to expect. And when I see you doing oh yeah, I know that one, and then even if I don't know it, I'm to the point now where I've had so much experience going to the parties and stuff that I like, even if I don't know it, who cares? And that's how it is. Even if you don't know it, you give it a try, and if you don't do it perfectly, nobody cares, because they're probably looking at the person who's doing it, full out.
It's kind of like one of those things where we're not always dancing every single minute. It's kind of like you're watching, then you go when like a move to a song, or like if you want to just kind of bust out a move, and you go. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's no pressure. And also, I know that you guys talk about like that you want to respect where the moves come from and everything. Just sometimes that's something, but sometimes just don't get hung up on that, because it could take the joy and the fun out of it. So it's just kind of what I'm basically saying is, don't pressure yourself to be like, I have to be super uber respectful. It's like, let's go and have fun. I mean, over time you'll have more of an education where like, okay, gun moves are for gun songs, and girl moves are for girl songs, and now you don't do gun moves to girl songs, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, and that all comes with time. Like, but what I'm saying is, just don't get hung up on like, I have this pressure of like, I have to get it right and this and that, because like I said, that could just take the joy out of it,
Well, I think what I'm thinking about mostly with reference to like the respect is not so much because, one of the reasons why dance and choreography can't be copyrighted or patented is because it looks different on everybody, just like perfume can't. Perfume smells different on everybody because of the chemistry, and that's the way our body moves. So the move you do is not going to look the same on me, because I'm not going to do exactly the same. So the respect I think I'm more referring to is pointing people to the root and to the history, and encouraging them, if don't look at me, go to the real people and learn. You know what I mean? Like
find out why I'm so excited about that.
Exactly. Like, go out and find and research and take classes from authentic, Jamaican dance teams and people like Orville, who have a history, who have a knowledge. If you're passionate and you want to learn the real thing, go. Don't stop at me or you or the parties. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is, like, give credit. Just give credit, because there are certain entities that I'm not going to say that are taking moves from dance hall and they're not doing them the right way or whatever, but and those entities won't say go to Jamaica and learn the real thing, because that's not their business. That's not what their business is about. But so we don't want to see dance hall like commercialized, and watered down. I think that's what Mommy and I are really concerned about, as far as the respect and respecting the culture,
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, it's great that you guys are super respectful. It really is. So, like, moving forward, where is it that you want, like, this business to go in terms of the travel tour company in Jamaica? And, I mean, of course, this answer can change. Do you see yourself, like, retiring in Jamaica? Like, I mean, hypothetically speaking. I guess that's a long time from now, but I'm saying hypothetically speaking.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I've actually, I always put the cart before the horse. Is that how you say it? The cart before the horse. Yeah. I've actually been even before I have anything established over there, I'm like, oh, I wonder how much houses cost over there. I wonder how you buy a house over there. And like, I'm already thinking about that, because I would totally love to like retire over there, even though, it doesn't have some of the amenities it does have here. But the life over there is just so natural and just so calm. And, like, you can't beat the weather, and you got fruit trees everywhere. And like, so I would love to see the tour business grow to where, I could help out like on the administrative part and the marketing part and actually be there. But again, this is something that would be completely long term, because I still have my kids that I have to finish raising here, and I can't go over. I have to I have my full-time job here, which is another part of the whole story, is that I have my full-time job, teach part-time, do my dance hall with mommy until 4 o'clock in the morning on the weekends. How do I do it? And travel to Jamaica back and forth. So, wow, now I put it all in perspective. I'm like, how am I even sitting here? So I do see that in the future. I would love to the tour industry is so much fun. It's so much fun, and there's just so much potential. My boyfriend, he knows, his name is Aaron. He knows his real name is Aaron, but his nickname is Bommy, like Bommy, the what do you call it? The side that you eat over there. He knows Portland like the back of his hand. So he knows how to take people and take them around, and he has really good etiquette and knowledge of all natural things, fish, birds, all the nature and everything. So, and I just was so impressed by, the simple life and the natural life that they lead over there. And it's just, it's so appealing because, even just simple things like you see the chickens running around and the roosters, and the roosters wake you up in the morning, and then at night you see them jumping up in the trees, and I'm like, I'll be damned, they like go up into the trees and roost. How natural is that? You know what I mean? And you see the goats and the cows, and just natural, not here where everything is like confined and it's so structured, and you can't have this and you can't do that. It's just a different environment and a different lifestyle anyway, but it's very appealing to me. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up, Jozee. You've been great. You know what I'm saying? I will leave links to the Furry Friends Facebook page, to the Bommy Tours Instagram, to your Instagram, if anybody wants to get in contact with you and find out more about your class as well and how they can come through. And is there anything that you want to say in closing? Definitely.
You know what? I am probably the happiest I've been in my life. My life, it's everybody's life is a journey, and you have your ups and downs. But I feel like the more you discover things and you find new passions and new interests and new people and good, positive people along the way, it's like a treasure. It's like you find a treasure. So that's where I am right now with dancehall, and I don't think I'm gonna even like finish with this journey. I'm gonna keep going with this because I just have the complete package with the whole dancehall package, Jamaican culture, and the fact that there's actually a huge population of Jamaicans here, and there's actually many really cool events, especially in Brooklyn. So going to those in the summer, having fun, right? It's crazy. I want to do the boardwalk in where is it, in Coney Island? Yeah. I got to go to that party. There's so many things I have to do that I have yet to do, and I have just like. I plan on doing this until like maybe I have a walker. Even if I have a walker, I'll still do it.
You still do that. I think your story. It's like I'm listening to you. I'm hearing you. I'm listening to you. You're a perfect example of if there's something that you like to do, you should go ahead and be around the people that enjoy doing it, because you'll absorb everything much faster, much quicker, and let's say if you were doing it by yourself, like the level that you're at now, it would have taken you much longer to do it if you were by yourself as opposed to being around other people, like-minded people, and I think that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing for anybody that wants to get better at something. Be around like-minded people, be in those circles, be in those groups, and you'll level up a lot faster.
Absolutely, and on that point, I found out really quickly, when you look at dancehall and you watch people dance, they make it look easy. It's in their blood, it's in their body, they can do it and then execute the moves with flavor, spice, swag, whatever. For me, I have to work hard, okay? Because I can't copy that style right away. My body doesn't do that as quickly as it when I was younger. So I could get discouraged really easy if I didn't have that support system. And also, too, it's not my comfort zone, so I encourage anyone who has a passion, who wants to do something, to keep at it. Because I say to myself, especially at this point in my life where things don't come as easy as far as physically anymore, I'll keep working at it, and I'll get it one day. And not to put that pressure of being perfect right away, because dance hall, and I told mommy this, is probably one of the hardest things that I've had to learn, and only because I want to get it right. I want to get it right to every detail. I want to get the head movements right, and the shoulders right, and the waist, and the what do you call it, like the swag, the flavor. You know what I'm talking about, like that. The bounce, everything. There's so many aspects to dance hall that you have to piece together. So, and I could totally get discouraged easily, but I said, I'm going to keep going because I'm having fun with it. Absolutely. And then I'm learning, and the fact that you notice that I'm actually growing and becoming more confident, hey, that keeps me going. That fuels the fire for me. So never get discouraged. Keep going, and it'll happen one day. Practice makes permanent, like Shelly said.
That's the perfect way to end it. That's the perfect way to end it. Honestly, like, if let's say we lived in some bizarro world where Zumba was the dance, and everybody was like, Zumba's crazy, Zumba's dope. So, like, for you, let's say, just with your regular life experience right now, like, we will be following you in the club because you've been doing Zumba for so many years. But a lot of times with these Jamaican dancers, like, this is a dance they've been doing since they were kids. So this is something that they've already had like 10, 15 years inside their bodies. So it's like, and for somebody just jumping in, of course, it's going to be a whole learning thing. You know what I mean? But that's a perfect way to end it, though, Jozee. And like I said, I'll leave all your links and the details. And Lord willing, more parties, and the summer's coming, and it's going to be crazy. And hopefully this coronavirus will be done with. You know what I mean? Exactly. And this is the Improve and Have Fun podcast, and that's it. We're out.